Hey YouTube, hey subscribers, thanks for tuning in. This video was inspired by a comment by one of my subscribers who always leaves very deep, thoughtful, and insightful comments. So thank you so much to that subscriber. In that comment, he had summarized on the video how I healed from narcissistic abuse, kind of the steps to doing so. And the first one was grieve the loss of the illusion that you believed in. So I thought that was pretty deep and pretty profound, and it got me thinking about this book that I'm reading that I've been talking about ever since I started reading it. Shout out to another subscriber who recommended that book to me, and that book is Controlling People by Patricia. Truly amazing. It's one of those books that takes you deep, 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 deep down the rabbit hole. And I've been thinking about it for the past few days and thinking, how am I going to put together a video that fully encompasses the message behind this book? Because literally every page could be a separate video. Every highlight could be a separate video. So I've been trying to kind of condense it in my mind. And so when he made that comment, grieve the loss of the illusion, it perfectly summed up one of the primary points in her book, which is that controllers deal with pretend people. So the person that they're controlling is a pretend person. So it's a person that they've made up in their head. And she refers to this person as Teddy, their teddy bear. So think about when you had a teddy bear as a small child. You made Teddy talk, you put on Teddy's clothes, you told Teddy where to go, you made Teddy eat, you made Teddy go to the tea parties, you had complete and total control of Teddy, you told Teddy when Teddy goes to bed, and you told Teddy when Teddy wakes up. You knew when you were mad with Teddy, and you also knew when you were no longer mad with Teddy. And Teddy was supposed to sit there until you were through being mad with Teddy and started speaking to Teddy again. So the symbolism behind it all is very, very profound and deep. And essentially what she's saying is when Teddy does something that is truly an original inspiration, it scares the hell out of the controller because Teddy's not supposed to talk. Teddy's not supposed to talk back to you. Teddy's not supposed to have independent thoughts, ideas, wants, wishes, things of that nature. So essentially, who she calls controllers, I call them narcissists. Controllers install this artificial person, this teddy bear, into their host body, essentially. So they pick out a good host and they install this pretend person, this teddy bear, into this host. And when this pretend person, this teddy bear, doesn't cooperate and doesn't act in a way that they have imagined them and pretended that they would, they become enraged because anything independent of what they say or what they've outlined is viewed as a sign of separation, as Patricia calls it in the book, a sign of separation. So how does this apply to the title of this video and the content that I'm going to deliver? The more I read about this whole relationship, the controller, the teddy bear, the pretend person, all of that, it makes me realize that this actually goes both ways. And it helped me understand a concept from a book a couple years ago called Codependent No More by Beattie. How to Stop Controlling Others and Start Caring for Yourself. And when I first read that book a couple years ago, it's very good, by the way, I was like, how is a codependent person controlling someone else? Aren't they the one being controlled? Aren't they the one experiencing the hardship of this relationship? So I didn't fully understand until I read Patricia Evans' book. And now it makes perfect sense because what it is the controller, the narcissist, has installed this pretend person into you. But what's crazy is you've also installed a pretend person into them. So just as much as they're trying to get you to behave, act, think in a certain way, you're trying to get them to behave, act, and think in a certain way. You're interacting with a pretend person just as much as they are. When I saw that Grieve the Illusion, essentially when you go no contact and cut it off, you're grieving that artificial person that you had installed into them. Because just as much as they made you artificial, you made them artificial too, because you actually believed in their empathy. You believed in their ability to be reciprocal. You believed that they genuinely loved you and truly cared about you. You believed that they could do better. You believed that they wanted to do better. You believed that they were capable of better. So you have all of these beliefs that you've packaged and made up about this person. And when they are actually being themselves, being the narcissist that they are, they're going against that artificial person that you've made up. And it upsets you. So then you engage in codependent behaviors in order to get them to drift back into the mold that you've created. Oh, it's so deep. It's so deep. So then when Melody Beattie, spelled Beattie, says how to stop controlling others and start caring for yourself, what she's saying is really how to stop making pretend people out of people. So if they're horrible people, if they engage in really disrespectful behaviors towards you, actions, different things that they do to just mess with you, that's who they are. And the control in you is trying to get them to be better people, and they're just not. So that's the illusion that you've created, that they have all this potential that they're not reaching, and that if you can just be a good wife or be a good girlfriend, be a good husband, be a good boyfriend, if I can just be a good fill in the blank, then they'll fall back into this illusion that I have of them. So it's also very controlling, but in a different way. So how does that look? So you shrink yourself. You have something to say, but you won't say it because you don't want to rock the boat. Because if you rock the boat, then they drift further away from this pretend person that you've created. So you choose not to rock the boat. They stay in the illusion, saying yes to things that you really mean no to. Why? Because if you say no, you're going to pull them out of their skin. They're going to flip out on you. And that's not part of the pretend person that you've made. So you go along with plans and ideas and things like that in order to keep this pretend person happy, because the last thing you want is for them to actually slip into who they really are, their authentic person. So their authentic person is kind of shitty, but you don't want to believe that. So you make up a pretend person that is not kind of shitty, and you interact with that pretend person just as much as they're interacting with the pretend person that they want you to be. It's insane. I had to do this video to bring out at least that point. There's so many more in this book. Please read it if you can, if you have an opportunity, and I'll link both books in the description box for you. But yeah, we're all out here playing make-believe with each other, those of us caught in these narcissistic and codependent relationships. The narcissist is interacting with who they want you to be, who they've dreamed you up to be, this person that they've told themselves all these stories about, and you have to fit that mold. And when you drift out of that mold is when you see the worst parts of them. And the funny thing is, you can drift out of the mold without even realizing it. For example, let's say the two of you are watching TV and advertisement for a movie comes on, and you say, oh my gosh, I would love to see that. If the narcissist or the controller doesn't want to see it, you have just shown an authentic piece of yourself. And in their world, their pretend person would never want to see a movie like that, would never be interested in a movie like that. So when you say, oh my God, I'd love to see that, you just slipped out of your teddy bear mode, and you're probably going to have an argument and you don't even know how it started. It started because you got to get back in line. Same thing. When you actually stand up for yourself or have an independent original thought and it causes the narcissist to flip out, those of you who want the narcissist to be happy with you, that's the pretend person, will back down and shy away and say, I'm so sorry, that's not what I meant. And you'll concede in order to get them to go back into their pretend mode. Oh man, because their authentic selves have no empathy, they're cold, they have no reciprocity, they're takers, just not good people, kind of vile, actually. That's who they really are, but we just can't believe that. We can't believe that people can really be that way, not realizing that there are just some people who are just flat out wicked, because the good that they see is often made up in their own head. They have made up this good person in their head. It's not really who they are. It's who this codependent person wants them to be. And that's just as controlling as the narcissist. Isn't that interesting? So I can't wait to hear you guys' thoughts on this subject. Thanks so much. Take care. I hope you're having a great week, and I grant you the permission to exist. Bye-bye.